This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Okay, hey everybody, Broken Stinger here. I've got a special guest this week, Mr. Brandon Stransky. Brandon, how you doing?
Doing good here. We got a little AlternaTV, Broken Stinger joint production going on here.
I like it. Very nice. Very nice. Is that familiar? I got the bat. You got the, I don't know.
Got my notes.
You got the notes. Good, because mine are all over the place.
And I needed a lot of them for this show. A lot.
Oh, that's the point. You won't need a lot of notes for the crap that's on TV these days. What'd you think, Brandon?
Man, all over the place. There was so much going on.
How would you like to have been, because you're a real wrestler, how would you like to have been a guy on the show?
I thought it would have been fun. I thought it would have been, probably would have been kind of nervous because I would have had a lot to remember. A lot to keep track of.
Yeah, I could see that, but I just want to say, first of all, I want to apologize. Brandon here, I've been keeping him waiting 5, 7. When are we going to do a Nitro review? And finally, someone wants to go through with that. If someone said Raw review, I'd, go get a root canal while I'm at it. We're not doing that. Current Raw. But, yeah, I kept him waiting for a few days, but we're going to do it now. And hopefully it's freshened up in his mind. This particular episode, it's the one following the April 10th, I believe, where Bischoff and Russo reboot the WCW.
You're cutting out kind of bad.
I think kind of bad.
Yeah.
Live TV. Nothing's for sure.
Yeah, this is the April 17th, 2000 edition of Monday Nitro, the night after Spring Stampede.
Yes, Spring Stampede 2000, where I believe Jeff Jarrett retains the WCW heavyweight title, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he wins via Kimberly Page cracking Dallas over the head with the guitar. Right.
The storyline, and we're going to get into that with Kimberly and Bischoff in the episode, which I think is pretty funny. But I'm trying to remember as a kid watching this live. I have kind of some vivid memories in my head. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I just want to get back to, again, this is the episode following the Russo-Bischoff reboot. And one of my favorite episodes, I think I started watching these episodes maybe a year and 2 months ago, give or take, like spring of 2016, when I was kind of down. I was still in the funk I'm in now, and I noticed on the network they had old school WCW pay-per-views, but then I dig deeper and I saw old episodes of Nitro, and I'm like, whoa. So I started digging into these, and man, what a treat. And they're a little special in my heart. There's bigger things in life, but this is cool. And they just blow the crap on TV out of the water. I can't stress that enough. And again, special episode. What did you like about it?
I liked about it was the fact that the fans actually cared. I mean, you saw people that, they cheered when they were supposed to. They booed when they were supposed to. They hated who they were supposed to, and they loved who they were supposed to.
Right.
There was kind of that 9 out of 10 rule, but, for the most part, it seemed like it was, accomplished what they were trying to accomplish.
I agree with that. And just had that sense of urgency, like unpredictable, and you don't know what's going to happen next. If you change the channel, you're going to miss, who knows. Now these days, I'll show you my biggest pet peeve with Can I see that real quick, baby? Thank you. What are you doing? Oh, thank you. She's helping me for jobs. You ever see segments?
Nope.
What?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. On air. It's my birthday tomorrow, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
I'm going to be the big 2-7.
Nice.
Panera Bread membership card. Thank you. Anyway, where was I? Oh, if you ever notice, they do a lot of these in the back where the segment starts off with them on their phone. I hate that. I am not watching TV to see some Rudy Poo jabroni go on their phone. You know, there's a whole bunch of crap you could do. We're going to get to a Page segment where he's pulling up in a car.
Yep.
That's the polar opposite of somebody on their phone to open a segment. I hate that crap. What's some of the stuff that you hate these days, like segment-wise?
Just how everything's so cliche and overdone and reused over and over again.
Huh. Well, I have to agree with that. And let's get into the the show.
Yeah, let's get started on Nitro.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
So we open up with highlights from String Stampede. New Blood, of course, accomplishing their goal of trying to capture all the titles except for one, which is, of course, the hardcore title, which is taken by Terry Funk. We have we show that security has made sure that nobody can enter the building. Security and police are there, as we'll find out later. And then we have the New Blood come out with the police riot squad, and it looks like a New York ticker tape parade. Any thoughts on this?
Oh boy, yeah. Well, I thought it was pretty funny. The riot squad. I kind of, as a kid, I wouldn't notice it, but you could tell, like, it's just something shady about them. Like, there's something to it. You know, they were going to be like a special part of the segment, the way they're coming down. And of course, Vince, if you're watching this, you coming out all cocky in your Yankees uniform and all the confetti coming down. It was different. You don't see something like that these days. And who else came out? There was Bagwell,
Douglas, Candido,
Tammy. Mm-hmm. And
Jarrett. No, not Jarrett hadn't come out yet.
No. But
Steiner.
Right. Scott Steiner. Some characters here. I met Bagwell, cool guy. I met Douglas, really cool guy. Really had a long talk with him. But another big key with this segment here, you notice the Russo shoot on Jim Ross?
I did notice that. Yep, added the the element of realism to it of the whole putting Jarrett over as a champion.
Mm-hmm. I would like to ask Vince what was up with that, if he remembers that, and how much of that was like real heat.
I mean, I cannot. I mean, I'm not going to speak for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to attempt to do that at all. That's his place to speak. I'm not going to comment on that. Again, that's his business. I really don't want to comment too much on that one.
Well, it's interesting. I would think 17 years later he wouldn't have too much of a problem, but I could be wrong. But who else did he? Yeah, not only him, Jarrett too. So Jarrett comes out.
Did Jarrett throws his own JR jab in there too?
Yeah. So I guess it reiterates that this was there's something there. But then did Bischoff and Kimberly come out afterwards or before?
Yep. Yeah, they did the because he's sick because Russo put him over as the biggest winner of the evening because he came out with Kimberly on his arm.
Okay. And was it me or was this so goofily awkward? The way because they're both married at the Page. She's married to Page, and Bischoff has a wife. And storyline wise, they're coming out and they're like.
There was definitely some awkwardness there.
It was like this. It was like I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. Kimberly's hot. I'm not gonna lie. She's a decent actress, but God, Hancock. Okay.
And something I noticed about I'm sure you've noticed like on the old Nitros they dubbed over all the old themes or some of the ones.
Yes, and that pissed me off. It took me a while to realize that because I would go nuts over Sting. He had the I forget the name of the song. Seek and Destroy by Metallica, a version of that. That was freaking awesome. And
they just dubbed it over with the sped up version of his Crow theme.
yeah, which the Crow team, I don't have a problem with that. But, you know, it's growing up. That's not what I remember hearing, you know, when that music hit. And I thought it was cool the way they did that in WCW, the lights and the thunder. And then even Jarrett's theme, you know, I remember hearing that. And that's dubbed over DDP's, whatever you call that, like Teen Spirit rendition.
Yeah.
Although at a live wrestling show this year, they were able to play that. So
I know, man. It just like those knockoff themes. To me, it felt like it was part of the charm of WCW.
It did, and it's a shame they had to dub it over, but that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. And we get into the final part of the segment.
We have the Jarrett challenging Page for the triple tier cage at Slamboree.
Right. And then Page pulls up in his you remember the car? Was it a Ferrari?
I don't remember, but it was a decent car.
A decent car for 2000. I feel old. But
Kimberly, I forgot Kimberly had her promo. Forgot about that.
Right.
She basically said she was tired of putting her life on hold for Paige, so she's kind of going, doing her thing now. And I thought she did a pretty good job. I mean, it's clear that there's definitely some real emotion there.
Well, you think part of that was a shoot?
I'm sure there's definitely some validity to what she was saying.
Oh, I thought it was all just part of the storyline acting. Maybe it could be. I think I think Vince with JR, that had me like.
I'm sure that one. I'm sure 100. I put it this way. In my opinion, I would believe that's true. I can believe that was true.
Well, speaking of Paige, towards the end of the segment, we cut to an outside scene. You don't see this anymore. He pulls up in his, for 2000, a great Ferrari, some type. I'm assuming. I'm bad with cars, and I would have to see the episode again. And you're not allowed in the building, Mr. Page. You tell Bischoff and Russo I got this message for him. Pow!
Start laying out security.
Yeah, this was choreographed pretty good. I would screw it up. The one guy got thrown into the garbage can.
Did you notice that who was in the gorilla position as Page was making his way to the entranceway?
Was it one of those tag team partner guys?
Kurt Hennig and Sean Stasiak. Or who was it?
Stasiak.
Hennig and Stasiak, yep.
Yeah, what goofy. I mean, I love it when they cut through the backstage segments like you're a wrestler going through the tunnel, but yeah, that was a goofy part for sure. But it was cool seeing, what the wrestlers see before they go out. But yeah, bad timing. I wonder what the hell they were doing there.
I think they were actually the next segment. We'll get to that.
Well, they were, but they shouldn't have. Anyway, so Page goes out and he starts clobbering, Russo and company. And then the guards all come to the ring and they start attacking. And I start popping because you see Sting, he's, his moves are he does the chops and the kicks and he's trying to do it with the friggin' helmet on. And it just looks so awkward. Like he's,
Flair, you didn't even have to have him take his helmet off. And you saw him swing that billy club. Like, there's only one guy who swings a billy club like that, and that's Ric Flair.
Right. And they clean house, and they take their masks off, and it's I dig this segment. I dig it. And you can see all the emotion, like Bagwell and Jarrett look like they're ready to blow a gasket. And part of Sting's face paint gets smeared off, but I always popped with that when he had to wear, like, if you remember the old school segment, he would wear the Sting mask over the face paint.
Yeah.
Similar.
Then they repeated that in TNA.
Yeah, a little bit of similarities with the Joker. To me, he had that Joker gimmick in a way with the gloves and the coat and the makeup before he was version.
Vince is what they were going for.
What was that?
I think Vince says what they were going for. It was like trying to imitate the Joker.
Wow. Well, if I ever get a chance to meet him, man, I tell him the WCW 2000. To me, that was the perfect look for him. I'm not, Jeff Lane thinks he was insinuating I was gay, but I'm not. Lazy lover, lumpy Lane. loony. He's he's silly. We love Jeff, but yeah, great segment. I thought that was funny as hell with the pulling the masks off. What's the next segment, Brandon?
See, after that we go to commercial. We come back with a replay of the last segment, and then we're in the back with Bischoff and Lash LaRue, Bam Bam Bigelow, Hugh Morris, Chavo, Jerry Flynn, and Booker T, running them down for not coming out to save their help the New Blood when they were getting jumped earlier. And then after that, he sends Russo to go out to go get Awesome to take out Paige. Security comes in and quits, and then Bischoff gets a threatening phone call from Hulk Hogan.
And I vividly remember this as a kid. The "Hey, easy, I'll be kicking your ass in about 10 minutes," or something like that.
Yep,
there's a few moments in the episodes I remember hearing live as a kid, and that was one of them, so I popped for that. And Bischoff did a good job of selling it. And I don't know, I just laugh at goofy stuff. I laughed at the, "Hey, man, you didn't tell us we got our asses kicked by a bunch of wrestlers. Keep your money."
Yep.
And Vince is pretty quiet in these segments. But I guess he was writing these shows too while appearing in the segments at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is when they're having trouble figuring out who was whose boss. I believe he talked about.
Right. Okay. What's next?
Then we go to the announcers. They're talking about putting over how the New Blood came in tonight riding high, and now things are kind of falling apart for them. Then we get Hennig versus Stasiak, continuing the story of Miss Hancock showing up at random times to take notes. Stasiak goes over after ref bump and beats down Hennig after the match.
Who beats up Hennig?
Stasiak.
Oh, right. And gotta respect Kurt Hennig, but I don't know. In WCW, he got stuck with a cowboy theme, and to me, it just similarities with Bret Hart. Like, I don't know. No disrespect to those guys, but I think
they brought him in hot and they dropped the ball on him.
I guess, but I don't think guys like that would have thrived Attitude Era, and it's WCW. But
I think Hennig could have thrived anywhere. That dude was so freaking versatile.
Well, you got to keep in mind, good wrestler like Chris Benoit, or good wrestler in personality like Kurt Angle. Where do you think he fell in that category?
I think he would have fallen on the Angle side. He had personality to him. He had a lot of personality to him.
WCW dropped the ball once again. Surprise, surprise. I still miss it.
I mean, he worked hard to freaking get that stupid redneck gimmick over.
Right. Speaking of WCW, this is my current WCW Woman Crush Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. I'm trying. Okay.
Ahead of yourself.
I know.
Today's Monday.
Yes.
Today's Man Crush Monday.
We're missing Raw. Tear in my eye. I could care less. Oh, man. So, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this leads to Hogan pulling up in his car.
Yep, we have Hogan arriving. The police are following him. They refuse him entry. And he tells them, Here's the thing about Hogan. He's, they're showing him personality trait, the kind of the shades of gray right there of him telling the police, hey,
I'm getting in one way
I
or
respect
another.
you guys, but I'm getting in there one way or the other.
Right.
And then the cops, were showing mutual respect back and stand down and let him through.
Yeah. What do you think of his outfit?
I mean, I thought it was a good. I thought this is a good evolution for the character of Hulk Hogan. I mean, we'd seen the red and black done to death. We'd seen the Hollywood. We just got done watching Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was kind of a good different direction for the character to go.
I agree. I think he was just insane. Like, I'm done taking crap from all these young guys and all these great segments in the back. But forget this episode. The episode before that Vince and Jeff reviewed, he was even crazier. But this was great too. I liked it. And
you could tell the crowd, and you saw the crew, and as he coming in, everybody in the back applauding him. The pop he got from the crowd when he came out.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of respect. This was in, I don't remember what city this was in.
Somewhere in Illinois, I want to say.
Yeah. I agree. It was somewhere in Illinois. And he comes out and he cuts his promo with, I believe it's to the effect of, questioning, has Hulk Hogan lost a step or two? Well, yeah, you're damn right. But so's everybody.
Here's something I forgot. He actually takes out Stasiak and assists Hennig, and then we go to commercial.
Well, of course he did. I was just testing you. Oh, man. Yeah, well, he's beating because Kurt Hennig's getting beat up, and here comes Hulk to save the poor fella.
Yep.
And then after that, we go to the ring, and I thought it was a good
promo, which I thought was a freaking fantastic promo. I thought he killed it.
I agree. It was from the heart.
Sight, because just the way I'm sorry, I'm a little not completely clear-headed at the moment.
That's okay. I'm never clear-headed. You get used to it.
Lost my train of thought there.
You were saying
I like the line that he put in there saying, if you want my spot, you can have it, you got to kill me for it, or something to that effect.
Yes. And I don't think Vince had any input in this. I think it was all Terry.
I don't either. I think that's 100% straight from Hogan's heart.
I think so too. I agree. I like the shoot. And again, you don't see stuff like this these days where, it doesn't have to be 100% shoot, but sometimes you see the result.
Have elements of reality to it.
Yeah, when you see the results sometimes of when it's 100% shoot. If the person really wants to convey a message and they're confident in their delivery, boom! Or, I would probably maybe fumble, depending on if I have a good day or a bad day. I don't know if I had my coffee. Great promo, I agree.
All right, and then the promo was interrupted by Kidman and Bischoff in the back. He gives chase. The screen camera pulls back, and we see that they're back there with the white Hummer, which remember we saw last week.
The white Hummer, and if you followed WCW around that time, it was it made its first appearance the summer of '99, storyline wise, and it was continued on from they were talking about who was driving the Hummer, Sting or Nash, and this was Bash to the Beach '99. If you're interested in going back and checking that out, but it makes its return last week and it's back this week, and it was never fully, that storyline was never fully explained, and I don't think they still fully finished explaining it, or this was their attempt.
It was an attempt to cover up something they should have just kind of left in the grave, in my opinion.
I that's a fair assessment. But Hogan just, how many times is he gonna yell, Kidman? So he cuts. What's next?
And they go to the back with Gene and Jarrett. He offers the open contract to any new blood member for a title shot.
Gene and Jarrett. I love it when Mean Gene and Jeff talk to each other. Listen here, Jurassic Slappy.
Those are always funny, entertaining segments.
Yeah, he hit the poor guy with a guitar one episode.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Jeff was just such a good heel.
he was just such an annoying prick for a lot of the times in the character he played.
I agree. And you know, they edited over his music, but they can't edit over his promos.
All right, and then we have a hardcore title match with Funk defending against the Wall.
Oh boy.
Replay to Spring Stampede where we had Russo firing Rhodes for, I believe he was supposed to help bring the hardcore title to New Blood and failed to do so.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I noticed during the match was, I don't know if you caught this or not. I know Wall didn't catch this because this is actually what I'm talking about. Do you notice how Wall like barely even tried to catch Terry Funk on that moonsault to the outside?
I wonder whose idea that was.
It's not that hard. You just stand there and go. You freaking catch the guy and fall down. It's not hard, dude.
Oh, you've been trained to do that?
I'm not gonna get into secrets, but like it's I'll put it this way. It's literally as simple as it looks.
Okay. Well, I wonder if it was Terry's mess up there, or the Walls, or it was just lack of communication.
It was. I mean, not to throw shade on the guy, but you know, because he's no longer with us. But yeah, it was. That was a screw up by Wall.
Oh, right.
I don't. Actually, I have to go back and watch that because if I were
Terry is
scratch. I'm not. I'd have to go back and look at that to try to see because it's not fresh in my head right now.
At the time, this was like almost a nearly 60-year-old man doing a full moonsault off.
Yeah, I forgot. He may have missed. He may have not gotten all the distance he needed on that either.
Yeah, well, Terry Funk was nuts. You ever see Beyond the Mat?
Nah.
Oh, you've never seen Beyond the Mat?
Nah, surprisingly.
Highly recommended. Check it out.
I've heard it's very good.
It is, dude. Especially since you're a wrestler, you'd appreciate it even more. I'm not a real wrestler. I could be one day. But I'm just the goofy guy that paints his face. But I still liked it. So okay, I believe Terry goes over in this match. The ending is pretty goofy.
It was, yeah, double stomp to the table. Here's something I wanted to catch, though. This is, I think it was Mark Madden who said this. Said one of the spots during the match, because I think it was.
Oh, I
think it was Funk when he pile drove Wall through the table.
Mm-hmm.
Madden says, if he pile drives him on this, he'll kill him.
Dude,
today, if that were happened, he'd kick out at 2.
Right. Dude, I gotta say, the 3-man announce team of Madden, Hudson, and Shivani, like the 3-man announce team today, you would think like 3's a crowd, but with these 3, it worked. I really enjoyed the
I would take these 3 over what we got now any day.
I think Shivani was just a great veteran leader. Hudson was great support, and he was good for really backing up Shivani and what his statements were. And then Madden was just, I thought he was
the great annoying loudmouth.
Yeah. There's some lines here I have written down. I gotta find them with what's her name comes out, Miss Hancock, smoochy boochy Tony.
Man, that dude's been watching too many Kevin Smith movies.
Oh, that's where he gets that from.
Yeah, that's something that like they say in all the Jane Silent Bob movies.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch more of that.
Namely, the character Jay.
Oh God.
Yeah, Funk over with the double stomp to the table. We go backstage with get a quick segment with Russo and Chronic. Apparently, they had made a deal where if Chronic helps the New Blood get the tag team titles, and they get the first title or get a title shot. However, Russo says he'll get it. They'll get it when he says so.
Yeah, I thought this was done pretty well. I thought, you look at Vince standing next to those guys, he's held his ground. Vince is a pretty big guy, by the way. When I met him in person, I looked up his height beforehand, so I knew he'd be tall, but I'm like, damn. You look at the business, it was a big man's business. And now we got guys like Finn Balor. And what did you think of this segment?
I mean, I thought it made sense. It was accomplished. I mean, kind of set the characters of Chronic as, we do what we want, take what we want. And it kind of made sense, too, that it puts them, in conflict with the Harris brothers because they're kind of the same gimmick almost, except they're more of the Harris brothers are more kind of, biker types.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Chronic coming out to the ring, man, wouldn't piss those guys off. The outfits always irritated me. Like the one, I believe it was Brian Adams, always had his legs covered, but Brian Clark didn't. And then eventually they made it to like their outfits matched. But I could dig Chronic. But I got another note from where is it? The last segment where Funk versus Wall. Like I've noticed one more thing. I can't remember who. I think Funk got his head slammed in that cage. There was like a part where they were fighting near.
Oh yeah, yep. That was nasty. I remember that. Oh man.
Terry Funk, and he was like, again, I think he was around 60 when he did this. And I've got another note here.
Definitely pushing 60 for sure.
I got another note here. This was after the Stasiak Mr. Perfect match, where right before Hogan comes out and Hogan pulls up. I think Mark Madden or somebody says, not taking results, call into the sheets. I don't know who says that. It was probably Madden.
Yeah, I think it was too, yeah.
Just some good lines.
Let's see, then we have a quick little shot of someone signing Jarrett's contract as we go to commercial.
And then Jarrett comes back and he's anything but happy. He's like rips it off the wall.
And then he starts getting pissed off at Russo for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, we have it. Oh, go ahead.
Well, typical heel. Jarrett was a good heel at the time, right? They cut to him and Vince in the back, and then I believe Vince is like, I'll go talk.
We're actually, that's a bit of a ways down still.
Oh, damn.
See, they have DDP in a Gene promo where DDP vows to get vengeance gets his hands on Bischoff. We get to see the Blackhawks owner and bad boy Bob Probert in the crowd. I'm sure you know who Probert is.
Of course I do. I'm a hockey guy.
And then we have a Mama Luke's come into the ring.
Vito. If you're watching Vito.
Then we got a shot of Chronic taking out the Harris brothers, who were supposed to wrestle the Mama Lukes for the #1 contendership for the tag team titles. However, the Mama Lukes come out and they fight with Chronic, and match is changed to Brian Adams versus Vito.
Jabron. Vince, let's go.
Jeff, here's why this show sucks off the bat. I didn't even care. Vince McMahon sucks, bro. Do you understand? You shoot an angle, that's the shit. They're pussies, bro.
Bust somebody's ass. You
open.
just took all this guy's flavor
He really
away.
does suck as a heel.
I can't stand this guy.
Oh, yeah, bro, you're bitter. Get your shit together. So freaking illogical. Are you freaking kidding me, bro? And I'll be honest with you.
Let's see here.
Harris brothers.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They just have a fight. I'm sorry. They just, Mama Luke's just lay out Chronic. I'm sorry, Chronic lays out the Mama Luke's, and then Chronic cuts a promo.
Destroy
while threatening Russo in the locker room, demanding their tag team title shot.
Yes. So they take out the Harris brothers, who friggin' not many guys can rival up to those giants. And then they destroy the Mama Lukes, like you said. And man, I thought Vito did a pretty good job selling here. The pump handle slam.
Oh, definitely. Did you notice the move that Brian Adams used on Vito?
I don't know the name of it. Was it like over the shoulder, or was it another move?
That's what it's the F5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to remember that now because it's been a few days since I've seen it, but oh boy. Did you think he did a good job of selling that?
I mean, it was what it was.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can't really mess up selling the F5 unless you're a novice.
Well, I mean, it looked good on both ends, in my opinion. So then again, they're professionals. That's why they worked at WCW when they did. So they know what they're doing.
Amen. Amen. Don't mess with Chronic.
All right, and then after that, we go to the announcers updating on the ongoing stories. Then we have this is your segment right here. We got Vampiro out for a promo where he explains his actions against Sting. Sting interrupts, lights out. Sting repels from down and attacks Vampiro, pins him in the corner and taunts him. I loved Sting's sarcasm and his intensity in this promo. I thought he was spot freaking on this.
Wasn't he? Dude. Love this segment. But I got to say one thing. When he repelled down and Vampiro turned around,
Vampiro looked very awkward. It's like, oh crap, I saw him, I got to turn back around.
Right. I showed this to somebody else and they said, no, he was I forgot what the excuse was. I'm like, no, he saw that he wasn't out of his harness yet. Because Sting's still in his harness. Oh, I'll turn back around and pretend like I didn't see him. He does it again, turns back around, and finally Sting's out of the harness. Okay, I can approach him now. But that was friggin' epic, the way he just plopped into the ring like that. And, again, lights going out. Unfortunately, like you said before, they edited over the music, which would have been even more badass. But what can you say? This was my favorite version of Sting. He pins him against the corner with the bat. You get the look of that painted black and white face and that paint job with the curls. Just the way he did it, I could tell from experience it takes longer. And he just looked very intimidating, and I thought the promo was really good. With learning from best. Huh?
Of course, Vampiro got some good stuff in there, too, with the lines like, I'm your anti-hero, Sting. I'm the monster you were supposed to be. Or I'm the monster you should have been.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to my nightmare. And then all of a sudden, he just cuts to that. No coming down the ramp. And, again, the jacket he's wearing. I mean, if I had to have a Sting jacket, I'd pick that one. I think he said it's ripped now. But, yeah, and you see he lays it in with the baseball bat on Vampiro. He starts beating Vampiro once in the stomach, hits him right in the leg. And WCW's in my blood. This is my turf. I have no problems with this segment whatsoever. Beautiful.
Absolutely great segment. I mean,
yeah, but again, I thought I was the only one that noticed that. Wait a minute, that was kind of goofy. He turned around and he saw Sting. And crap, the harness. Oh man.
Now they go to commercial. Come back with the replay of the last segment. Hogan is still looking for Kidman. We get a segment with. We're in the back with Russo and Jarrett. We find out that it was Russo's idea because apparently there was some tension in the New Blood. People not happy that they wanted their opportunity to title, so something to kind of throw a little meat to the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And Russo says he'll go ahead and talk to the person who signed it, but they don't tell us who it was who signed it just yet.
Not yet.
And then we have the next matchup, which is DDP versus Mike Awesome. Canyon out to cause the DQ. Awesome tries to bomb Canyon through table. Nash comes out for the save. Well, any thoughts on those? On that?
It was Canyon and I'm sorry, who?
It was DDP versus Awesome, and Canyon ran out for the DQ. Awesome.
Right. Just looking at my notes here. Awesome ripped. Oh yeah. Michael, I have written down my notes. Doesn't Mike Awesome look like a professional wrestler? He's no longer with us, but the dude's ripped, long hair, good looking. Oh, I have written down he calls out Bischoff in the middle of the match, doesn't he?
I didn't catch that.
I don't know if you caught that. It wasn't.
I guess it was DDP who did it.
Yeah, he calls out when he has Awesome in the corner. He calls him out. He says, Bischoff, get out here or something like that. Canyon comes out, and like you said, here comes Nash, and drills
And
Canyon through the table.
Yep,
Awesome.
Nash puts it to the table.
Well, I guess it was a decent match. I'm not good at rating matches. Kevin Nash coming out, I thought he got a really decent pop.
He always does. He usually does, man. I mean,
And he
there's a
came
ton
out. He came out in his street clothes too. And
let's see.
I thought DDP, of course, he always gives it his all. You see the passion, you see the fire. It doesn't have to be flipping, flopping. It just has to be good psychology. We got a story here. We got some passion, and let's finish it off with a bang. Boom! Somebody threw a table. That's how it's done.
And after the match, we had a segment with Russo trying to talk down whoever it was who signed the contract. However, of course, we're not seeing who it was who signed it. Tank Abbott is backstage while Mark Madden completely freaks out as we go to commercial.
This was great. He starts freaking out. He sells it perfectly. Why is he here after last week? Of course, last week he got the crap beat out of him, stripped down to his underwear in the middle of the ring in front of everybody. So here comes Tank Abbott, and he comes out to the ring, and he makes the same speech, I guess. Where's Bill Goldberg?
A little bit later. We're not quite there yet.
Okay.
So we got to come back from commercial. Got a Douglas Bagwell promo with Gene. I thought Douglas did a phenomenal job here. Douglas challenges Luger to a singles match. Luger accepts on the condition that if Russo comes out during the match, then they forfeit the tag team titles to Team Package, which is of course Lex Luger and Ric Flair. And then we have what's up?
I was gonna say, was it me, or I didn't watch a lot of them, but did this segment kind of seem like almost like an early '90s type of thing, where you have the good guys and the bad guys interacting all in one camera scene, which is hard to do, but they pulled it off because in modern times, especially Attitude Era, if the two guys are going to be close to each other like that, the two opposing sides, they're going to brawl, They're not going to sit there and just spew words. They're going to fight. But they didn't. And I thought it was kind of goofy, but in a good way.
I can see that. Let's see. We have Abbott out to the ring. Mark Madden is really freaking out this time. Calls out Goldberg. And then, of course, Madden remembers that, it's going to be a different victim every week. Oh, I'm safe, Ben.
Good catch. I didn't catch that.
Well, I mean, he did. Well, he's still worried for whoever was going to get attacked, but he still had that. Oh, I'm safe. Oh, I'm okay. And then he goes after Bruce McArthur, who is, of course, one of the owners of the Chicago Blackhawks, which lends into Probert jumping in, which stalls security long enough to get down and separate the two.
Yes, and for those of you watching or don't know who the hell Rob Probert was, he passed away now, but he was in hockey. They called an enforcer, which there's not too many of them anymore, but one of the guys that, would stand up for if you hit one guy on the team the wrong way, you wouldn't want to fight.
I heard a story about one guy who was really tough. I think it might have been him. When the NHL started regulating, enforcing wearing helmets, and and then there's still people that the people that were currently there, they kind of gave them the option to whether they wanted to or not, and he was one of the guys who said, "Nah."
I don't believe it was him because Bob Probert. It could have been. If I remember correctly, he. You might be right, actually. I'm not like a hardcore hockey mark where I know like an encyclopedia of everything about it, but he was, because I've seen him with his helmet on, and he was playing all the way up until I think 2003, and the last player to not wear a helmet was Craig McTavish, and that was with the Rangers in '94. So I'll look into that, but I think it's a shame. Not a shame. Well, for me it is, but it was kind of a lackluster segment only because I don't think a lot of people knew who they were. It wasn't like a big pop, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know, the viewers at home might have been, well, WCW's ratings, unfortunately, at that time were low anyway. But
I mean, they're trying to rebuild. I mean, it was.
yeah, I thought it was a kind of a good idea. Oh, we got Bob Probert here, and I thought it was executed pretty good. It could have been actually better.
That's actually an old school promoting technique.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, it makes sense, but I just think execution-wise, it wasn't perfect. There's just something about it where it wasn't like, oh, that was good. It didn't have the pop, I guess. But like you said, Madden selling beforehand, I was cracking up. Oh man.
Let's see. And then we have someone telling Hogan where Kidman is. We go to commercial. Come back with Bruce.
Do you remember who told Hogan where Kidman was?
I don't remember.
Wasn't this? I believe he cuts to a segment. First, he's in the parking lot. Kidman. Then he cuts through the back, and there's a bunch of people eating, including kids. And he's like, "You kids seen Kidman?"
I don't remember that.
You know?
Yeah, no, I don't. Then again, they may have cut some stuff from the network, so who knows? I never watched it when it originally came out.
Oh well, I'm basing it off the network, but it's a lot of stuff. But yeah, then I believe it's Terry Taylor comes through and he says, "Have you seen Kidman?" He's still looking for Kidman. We're still continuing the story here, And you don't.
It was Terry Taylor, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Terry Taylor with the glasses.
Yeah.
And Terry I guess he did a good job, but again, I sound like a broken record saying you don't see this on TV anymore. Like, you want to know what's going to happen when he's going to find Kidman, and it's a bunch of segments. It's not just one and done, or one beginning of the show, one at the end of the show. This has got Russo writing all over it, right, Vince? Very nice. But all right, what's next?
And then they come back from commercial, and then we got with Russo and Jarrett arguing about the match. Russo says he'll fix it. Go to the ring. We have Lesnar versus Douglas. Bagwell out to interfere.
What do you want me to do? You put an open contract on your door, bro. Right?
It was your idea. You know who I am? I'm the chosen slap nuts.
There we go. Someone's got the slappy in them. I like it.
No, right. I actually do have a Jared story that I was there to witness, but I don't really want to tell it because it's kind of it puts me in a negative light. But
there to witness? What do you mean? Recently?
No, it was a few years. It was a couple years ago.
Okay. Well,
but I don't really want to talk about it. It was kind of it's one that's already been told. You can look it up.
It's okay, man. This is the Nitro review, not the Jeff Jarrett review. So let's continue on.
Here we go. What was it? I've lost my spot there. Okay, then we have Bagwell to interfere. Fan in a Sting mask hits Douglas. Pulls off the mask. It's Flair. Russo, and then was causes the DQ.
Full Sting outfit with the trench coat and everything.
Yep.
And of course, I always pop for that. And it's Douglas. Oh, so who? Luger wins with a DQ?
I believe so. I feel that I didn't write the actual result down. But yeah, and then Russo runs out to save Douglas, and they get pissed off at him. And he's, tells him, remember the stipulation, If I ran out during the match, you guys lose the belts.
Uh-huh.
See, and then Hogan approaches the white Hummer as we go to break.
Oh, you forgot to mention.
It's a good hook there. That's actually a really good hook.
Well, you forgot to mention first, really, whatchamacallit, the end, Russo, he pulls either, I think it was Douglas or Bagwell.
I got Douglas written down. Saves Douglas.
Yeah, and I think you hear me. I'll screw you, Flair. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, and then as you're saying, we go to the. I agree with you 100%. And again, this has got Russo all over it. What a cliffhanger! Not only we got him approaching the Hummer, perfect view. What's going to happen next? So,
Yep.
I agree. What a hook. That's a friggin' tuna hook right there. That's like, all right.
Sure. Then we come back from commercial. Hogan and Kidman are fighting. Tori gets involved, and then Hogan throws Kidman in the dumpster. And then Bischoff jumps in the Hummer. The Hummer will not start for him. He runs off. Hogan manages to start the Hummer, rams it into the dumpster, and chases after Bischoff. Come back. Kidman's being stretchered out. And then we come out, and then we come out. Oh, let's end it there. Let's talk about the segment real quick.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
Yeah, Hogan repays eye for an eye on Kidman there.
Yeah. God, what do you? I would like to know how he didn't get hurt, like how they pulled that off. But what can you say? You don't. Broken record again. You don't see. Well, you do see stuff like this on TV anymore. I don't want to give them that much, but Hogan had a lot of
once, twice a year, maybe something like this.
Work here. He had down Stephanie McMahon. That's what that reminded me of. He just tossed Kidman in the dumpster like a bag of garbage. Strong dude. And I thought Bischoff did a good job of selling here with the fear.
Mm-hmm. Bischoff's always been a really good coward heel.
He has. A good heel in general. And a lot of times if you're, not acting, when you're just bringing out some of your own qualities and magnifying it. So Bischoff's kind of like that in real life. But, yeah, crazy segment. And the announcers are selling it pretty good, too. Kidman's in that dumpster. I don't think Madden had any crazy kooky quotes in this segment, but Hudson and Shivani did a good job.
All right, and then it's time for our main event. Jarrett, the champion, out first. Then the music of his opponent, Scott Steiner, which makes all the sense in the world. Why he'd be freaking out over that.
And he's not coming alone. He's coming with
He's got 3 freaks with him.
Medeja, didn't he have Stacy with him?
No, I don't think so. No, I think he had Medeja, Shakira, and another one. I forgot the other one's name.
Oh, I remember now. Who would eventually become Gunley. Gorgeous women with him. And what's your thoughts on the match, if you remember?
I mean, I thought it was, a good match. Did what it was supposed to. Got over what it was supposed to. We had the finishes of Steiner putting on the recliner, Booker T running in for the DQ. And then he gets in Jarrett's face, tells him he's lucky. So that obviously explains what Russo meant when he said he'll take care of it, which means that's Booker was working on his behalf.
That was the ace in the hole.
Yes, indeed. And then we have another hook going into commercial break of Hogan swinging a pipe backstage looking for Bischoff.
Yes. He did. What a goofy segment. He approaches him in like a copier room, and he's almost got him cornered.
Then we go to commercial, come back with more Spring Stampede highlights once again. Hogan has found and chases Bischoff to the ring.
All the way out to the ring.
Hits him in the crotch, chokes him in the corner, starts yelling at him. Russo is on his way to the ring, but Bret Hart pushes him out of the way. Enters the ring. Swings toward Bischoff, and Hogan does not clear who he's aiming for, but we do not see who he hits as the show goes off the air.
Yeah, I have this written down. Just ended too early. Well, first off, I thought, not to kiss ass, but I thought Vince, man, he was pretty dramatic there walking to the ring. If you caught a glimpse of that.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, it kind of made sense. It's like, crap, I'm the only one out here coming out to save Bischoff from Hogan. And all I got is this bad.
And I thought I bought that hook, line, and sinker. Bischoff really got kicked in the nuts. I think they did a decent job with that. And
I think he's a little bit. I think he showed a little bit of shock too when Bret came out.
Absolutely, wasn't he at the end of the last episode too?
Bret, I don't remember. I do not recall. I know he was. I think he was in that episode, shown in the crowd.
Right. But the announcers, again, selling this pretty well. What's Hart gonna do? You know, and I guess it's pretty obvious. You know, what's Hart gonna do? What happens in wrestling? One guy's down, another guy is cowering over and beating him up. Somebody else comes. He's gonna help the guy that's up or down. Excuse me.
And also, who has Bret Hart said his target was from day one since he got in WCW that he has not gotten his hands on yet? Hulk Hogan.
Exactly. So some more realism added by Vinny Rue. And then that's the end of the show.
Yep, we go off the air with a great cliffhanger.
Yep. And you don't have that anymore. But that was common, especially around that time. And once again, good Russo writing. What do you think overall?
I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, if you try to take notes, you're not going to be hitting pause a lot. I'll say that much.
Right.
But, you know, I'm speaking for me personally. I followed it pretty decently. I kind of was able to know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I didn't, you know, if I forgot something happened, if something, you know, the follow-up came in, it's like, oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, it's followed from earlier. Okay.
Oh, man. Well, if you enjoyed it, great. I just want to say, like I said, I think it's just great material. I loved it. I wish wrestling was like this again. Again, it was in a funk. I started watching wrestling again probably around I stopped watching around 2009, and then I was going to school for something, and from like late 2009 to 2012, I was completely not watching it. Then The Rock came back, and I was hooked into it again. Then, you know, Rock was back, but the story, you know, the shows were still kind of weak, so I wasn't watching. And then they had the angle with the Shield versus Evolution, and that kind of drew me back in. And I started, you know, to feel better, I would start watching these shows when they became available because they brought back good, you know, good memories as a kid.
Speaking of Evolution, have you heard about the news with Batista?
Last I heard, he said he was interested in coming back full time. What's the news?
Full time? Yeah, well, that's what I had heard too. Full time, as in like, you know, full schedule, house shows, the whole shebang.
Right. Huh. Yeah. Well, he said that.
And to be honest, WWE would be stupid not to, because if you put him on a house show, you'll put some more asses in seats. He'll actually draw some people.
More than Sami Zayn? More than Kevin Owens? I think they'll give him a run for his money. Hey, Ellsworth is gone. I think he has a real chance now.
Hey, you know what, though? I guarantee you dude's going to be making more money on the indie scene. His stock went up from his time on the WWE.
You think so?
He's going to be making money. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm all for that. Anything to just get me to want to, you know, watch the shows. Right now, bigger things in life. If you're gonna get me to watch wrestling, holy crap, it's got to be good, because I wasn't even in the mood to watch review this Nitro, but I'm glad I did because it cheered me up a little bit.
That's good.
Again, great material, and hopefully we can get to more of these, or I can get them with somebody, because there's just too much good stuff on these shows. And if you guys don't want to take my word for it, check it out. It's on the network. If you're paying for it, you know, get it while it's there. And they haven't added Thunder yet, which I think would be really cool. You could see the follow-up. Huh?
Last I heard, it's actually in the works. They are planning on adding it for too long.
Well, they're holding it off because of the lawsuits.
Which ones?
Bagwell and company.
Oh, yeah, the intellectual property rights or whatever it is. Like,
yeah, a bunch of guys that appear on the show, and Bagwell's one of them.
Well, it's what is royalties.
Right. So that's why they held off on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. Well, again, I had a blast. Thanks again, Brandon. I'm sorry I kind of...
Oh, dude, it was worth the wait, man. This was fun.
Yeah. If we ever meet in person, I could try to put you in the Scorpion. I think you could probably break me in half, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. All 150 pounds, right, Vince? Bro? Okay. Well, I guess that's all for this week. I don't know if we're going to get, is this going to be under your show? Put it under your show. How's that?
Let's make it a joint production, man. Let's have it be both our show.
Chantel's got her work cut out for her. I hope it doesn't bring down her beauty a tad with all this work. That's not possible. Love you. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. I like it. The Broken Stransky. No. Alterna Broken Report. The we'll figure something out. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a poll for names. I don't know. Nothing's for sure. But all right, I guess that's it for this week. Catch Brandon's show on the brand AlternaTV, and I'm trying to.
Make sure you catch the Broken Stinger.
What?
And make sure you catch the Broken Stinger also on Vince Russo's The Brand on YouTube.
Yes. And for weeks I'm not there. If I'm not back in 5 weeks, just wait longer. Alrighty then. Please tell me you're old enough to get that reference. Okay. Well, until then, nothing's for sure. I don't know, but we'll try to do more of these. Like, subscribe, follow me and Brandon on Twitter. Like the brand. And you got anything to add to that, baby?
No, you did good.
Okay. I'm sorry if you didn't know what I was talking about. I got to make it up to her. She's loyal. All right, folks. Have a good week. Only thing for sure about me and my show and Brandon this week is nothing's for sure. Woo!
Peace out.
Peace out.
All right, good talking to you, dude.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand. This is Vince Russo's The Brand.